just by getting to the start line, it was a dream come true, because that was, this year, our biggest goal, just to get into the Tour de France, to show the world that African cycling exists. We're a wild card entry into the Tour, so it's kind of like being a guest in someone's house. When you're a guest in someone's house, you behave well and you try and do your best, and that's the view that we had going into the Tour de France. And I mean, the performance was exceptional. The guys, and we did everything. I mean, the dream goals, lofty goals of leading a jersey, we did that for 4 days with Daniel. Unbelievable. Winning a stage, geez, we go and win on Mandela Day. I mean, can you believe that? Like, that shouldn't have happened, going 5th in the team competition, being 13th overall, with Serge Pauwels. Everybody's always said to us, you've got a few international riders, lots of African riders, you have no depth in your team, because there isn't any depth in African cycling. And we showed that, 5th in the team competition out of 22 teams, the best 22 teams in the world, we have the depth and we can perform at that level. So it was amazing. With 1 week to go, we'd achieved every objective we wanted to. And then everything was just a bonus, but everything was a bonus anyway. That's why our strategy was good at this year's Tour de France. We didn't focus on one individual. If we lost that person, it was over. Like, what are we going to do now? We didn't have a dedicated person that the whole team was working for. We broke the race down into 21 parts and gave everyone an opportunity to do something, and then everyone rallied behind that individual on that day. It wasn't like an all for one, but it was kind of like a one for all, where everybody supported each other. If this Tour de France, according to most of the riders, is one of the hardest ever, and we performed so well, we look at it and think, geez, next year, the year after, massive possibility and potential to even go one step higher and to do something even more significant if we still have the luck that we had this year. At this point in time, we're looking to name a title sponsor, with MTN leaving the team and not wanting to renew the contract with us, which is fine. I mean, they've been with us 8 years. Everything has a time, and a beginning and an end. But so now we've got a couple of weeks before we announce, I guess, a new title partner. We've got a bit of interest. We're just waiting to see which partner is going to step up and take the naming convention of the team. I was in Paris at the airport, and I got called by a reporter actually saying that tomorrow, what's my comment? There's an article going that MTN is going to withdraw their sponsorship from the team, and it's going to be announced, and I'm writing the story, and I'd like a comment from you. And I was, I arrive in South Africa tomorrow, the next day, and he says, so what's your comment? And I said, well, I have no comment, because the discussion was that we were going to come back and have a talk with each other and talk about the success of the tour, and then we wanted MTN to continue even at a smaller way, in a smaller level, and just to maintain the momentum and see this massive exposure through and be a part of it into the future. But the fact that they wanted to announce that day, I don't know what made that decision happen and why the pressure was on to announce it that day. I still don't have that answer actually. They haven't given me a clear answer on it, but so for me it was really bad. And when I arrived in South Africa, it was a late flight, so I arrived at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I turned my phone on, and I had sponsors, I had riders, I had staff, I had media, and it was all about that. So it wasn't about the success of the tour and what we'd achieved, It was all about, now what? The dream is over. What's going on? What are we going to do? And what does it mean? And I hadn't even had time to even let the staff and our other sponsors know that that there's a potential security, in terms of other partners that are wanting to step up, and that their jobs would be secure. So we didn't even have time to do that. So that was a bit offsides, I think. But we're still incredibly thankful. I mean, they were the ones that made it possible to get here. So it's been an amazing partnership. They've grown with this team. They've made everything that we've had possible. So they've invested in it. They've funded it well. It was people that believed in the dream and walked this journey with us for 8 years. I mean, it was significant. And but why they announced it at that time and needed to do it that day, nobody knows. I don't know.